Guys, don't be afraid to do new things. And I say that because if I had been afraid to do new things, I never would have come to Japan in the first place. I never would have come to Japan to study abroad. I never would have come to Japan and met my girlfriend. I never would have come to Japan to do any of the exciting things that I've done since I got here. I wouldn't have tried the Japanese food. I wouldn't have tried meeting all the Japanese people. I wouldn't have tried going to new cities and learning new things and making mistakes and growing as a person. So if you guys are out there and you're thinking, I want to do something, I want to start that business, I want to start traveling, I want to go abroad, I want to study abroad, I want to teach English in another country, I want to meet new people, I want to do these things, don't be afraid to have those new experiences, because those experiences are what make life worth living. And I can't stress that enough, because coming here and coming to Japan was the biggest life-changing thing that I'd ever done. Before this, I had lived in Florida my whole life, and I had traveled throughout the United States with my parents to visit my family and to go to the different places around America. And while we didn't do it that much, that stuff was great and I really loved it. But I got that itch, that urge in college after learning about Japan, after learning about Asia, after learning about the world in kind of this bigger sense. I was like, I have to go somewhere, I have to do something, I have to put myself out there. And having myself surrounded by people with the same sort of mindset and the same sort of drive and ambition. Tyler, Alethea, Brian, if you guys are watching this, you guys pushed me and helped inspire me, along with my own motivations, to come to Japan and do what I wanted to do, which was to live this life, to be different, to come out here and try something that I'd never experienced before. And still, clear as rain, I remember getting on the plane the first day when I was leaving my home state in Florida. I was in the Orlando International Airport. I flew to New York, and I remember sitting down with my friend Brian, who was studying abroad with me at the time, and we were sitting down and we were looking at the plane as we were getting ready to board. And it was me and him, and then a line of maybe 400 Japanese people, 200, I don't know how many people sit on a plane, but a line of Japanese people getting ready to go back home. And we were taking that plane with them to go to Osaka to study abroad. And at that moment, right, while I was finishing up the last bit of my Buffalo Wild Wings chicken wings, I'm sitting here thinking, this is the time everything's about to change. This is the moment where I'm not going to be in America anymore. From the moment I get on this plane, I'm going to be hearing Japanese, I'm going to see Japanese people, I'm going to eat Japanese food. And my heart was about to explode. And Brian and I, we both looked at each other like, what the heck are we getting ourselves into? What should we be doing now? But then we got on the plane, we watched our 14 different kinds of movies, in order to get to Japan because the flight's so long. And I remember looking out the window as we were flying up over the country and seeing the small islands of Japan start to show up on the horizon as we were beginning to touch down. And as we touched down, and the captain's voice came over the radio, and it wasn't in English, it was in Japanese, and he's saying the local time and all that sort of normal information you get when you're flying a plane. And we get ourselves out of the plane. The world seemed to have been different. The world seemed to have completely changed. And it's not something that I would have experienced if I had stayed home. That moment of the first time opening up my passport and giving it to the security guards at immigration, them looking and checking my face and scanning it, knowing, okay, I'm good to go through. The first interaction, my first ever interaction with a Japanese person in Japan was with my security guard. He was checking my luggage I was going through, and he asked me a question like, is this your first time in Japan? And even though I practiced that a million times, it threw me off. I was terrified, I was nervous, and I couldn't answer anything, even though I knew the words. I'd been practicing the words over and over again back home. But that moment of arriving, that moment of getting to Japan, Brian and I, we checked into our hotel and we had to wait a day to get picked up by our university. We got in late one night, we're getting picked up the next day. So we had our first night in the hotel. We played with the Japanese toilets. We noticed how small the beds were. Brian went for a walk and got stared at by a bunch of Japanese people because we were in a place where foreigners don't usually go. And the next day when we got picked up to school, and there were all these foreigners who were there from France and from Australia, and all these people who were there to learn and try new things there with us, I felt this incredible rush of excitement, and that stuck with me my entire study abroad experience. The whole time I was there, learning how to use chopsticks and fumbling and dropping food onto the table over and over again, or going and trying restaurants and ordering by pointing and not being able to communicate, feeling like a child again, using basic language and pointing to things and not knowing how to express myself, showing up to class with Japanese students and trying to learn alongside them while they're trying to speak English and I'm trying to speak Japanese, and being confused and not understanding. and falling in love with my girlfriend while I was there, meeting her and having, you know, the best time of my life getting to know her and not only going on dates with her and experiencing all these things with her, but doing that in a new country, her teaching me, her showing me the place that she's grown up in, and getting to see what she's excited about, what my friends are excited about, what my Japanese friends are excited about, and learning all of this not only made that year of my life more exciting and more thrilling and more fulfilling than any other time of my life that I'd spent before that, but that event, choosing to study abroad, living here, living on my own, you know, I live with a roommate, granted, but on my own, away from my parents and away from things that are familiar, made me extremely hungry to experience new things ever since then. So when I came home after my study abroad experience, I thought, I've got to do something new. I've got to go back to Japan. I've got to go someplace. And sure enough, learning about the JET program from my fellow students at my school, Kansai Gaidai, I applied and I made it in. And I had to wait in that time period when I was at home and I was finishing school in Florida. I was finishing school and then working a part-time job and killing time until I could go back to Japan. Just, it felt like the world wasn't moving fast enough. I was hungry for those new experiences. And what I realized, and I've heard this preached before, is that when you have new experiences, your mind tends to pick up on those things. They hear it and they think, okay, there's this new experience. I'm going to remember that. And when you fill your life with new experiences, your memory, your mind remembers those distinctly. And so you can fill your mind up and your memory up with things that make life feel full. And when you're living maybe at home, or you're living in a place that's not exciting to you, or you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, or talking to the same coworkers you don't like over and over and over again, the world seems to just go by too fast. You spend 2 months and it feels like a week went by when you think back to it. But when you fill it up with new experiences and trying to do that every day or as much as you can, that's when it feels like you can look back like you're looking at a book with different chapters of your life instead of just a book with all these white pages in it that don't mean anything. So guys, what I'm trying to get across to you today, right now, is that doing something new, doing that thing you're excited about, studying abroad, working abroad, making your life your own and doing the things that empower you, that's what you need to do, I think, to make yourself happy, because that is what has made me happy consistently. That is what I like to do and what I want to do more of. Of course, I don't do as much as I want to do, and right now I'm feeling uniquely inspired about it because I've been watching other kind of YouTubers and other people who are leading these kinds of exciting lives. So I want to push that passion onto you and encourage you all to please do what makes you happy. Please do what makes you feel great, and please do the things that make your life feel full. So guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, or like this video, or just talk to me in the comments. I love reading what you guys have to say. Guys, I'll talk to you real soon in the next video. Stay motivated. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.